So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with...
I'm Grayson.
I'm Nathanael, and we are archers.
All right, some questions to say about the upcoming EP, All That I Have Left. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you guys feel about the response to the announcement so far?
Oh, we're stoked, man. Pre-orders have been flying. Yeah, it's been super fun. We cannot wait to put it out. I mean, most of this is just songs everybody's heard before, but like, there's a little bit of something special at the end there for everybody to find out, and like, I can't wait for this chapter to have a nice, pretty bow tied on the end of it. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
EP fucking rocks.
Damn right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the EP title or cover art?
Yeah, absolutely.
Take it away.
The art is something that I'm incredibly proud of, just because it is an extension of the band's last EP. The EP is obviously called All That I Have Left, and so as soon as I heard that title, I immediately thought of this idea of hands kind of offering the same plant that was on New Normal, but to kind of parallel the growth of this band, the plant has grown as well. So now there's some flowers that have bloomed, there's some buds that have died, there are a little bit more sprouts, and it just kind of, the whole thing kind of represents where the band's at. I mean, the hands are for sure supposed to represent us in the band, while the plant is the band itself. And it's just, we have given everything to this band the last 2 years with multiple tours and releases, and being in a band's a lot of hard work, but we've busted our ass and we've made it happen. And yeah, I'm super stoked on kind of the little Easter egg in the art there, and there's absolutely meaning behind it.
Hell yeah. You guys have definitely been busting your ass. When you reached out, Grayson, I was like, I know that band from somewhere. I'm like, I've heard that name a handful of times. So you guys are definitely doing the right thing. And with that being said, with the cover art, is the plan in the future to kind of keep that flower analogy going, or are we leaving it behind after this?
Who knows? Who knows?
I
It really
know.
just depends on where we are. Like, I've always loved that kind of thing. You know, you see bands like the one that sticks in my brain for always will be Day to Remember with the silhouette, you know, and that kind of thing. You know, like, I remember when Common Courtesy came out, which is like a way later album for them, but it was like 10 years, 15 years into their career. And then like it all kind of clicking for me when I came out and seeing that longevity of that idea. It was a powerful moment. So like, I definitely into the idea of potentially doing that, but it all just depends on where we are with the next batch of tunes that we decide to put out. You know.
Fair enough.
Another thing about the art too that I forgot to bring up, just little cool little nerdy things, is the title that is written on the record, the All That I Have Left, is actually handwritten by Pulley. And then if you get a physical version, there's the track list is handwritten by the rest of us. So we are literally on this record, so to speak.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the title itself is a reference from the line of our song "Bitter," with like the last the tag of the entire song is just "All That I Have Left." You just scream it out loud, and from one perspective, you know, it kind of sounds like you're done, like, oh, that's it. But the idea that it actually stands for to us, it's not so much a statement, rather a promise. That it's more like, this is what we're going to do. We'll give it everything we've got. So like, that's what it means to us. And we're just stoked to finally be like ready to move forward with it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
right.
yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the EP?
It's a little, I mean, it's all over the place and not. We sometimes have ideas before we go into like a session. Sometimes we start from zero. Like, we tend to really enjoy getting into the studio with like nothing and just be like, all right, let's let the ideas percolate. Let's sit down and just kind of see how we're feeling. What are we vibing with? Like, what are we, you know, and just kind of like go from there. And like, I promise there's like 8 or 10 ideas that get junked before we even decide to even start moving forward. So it's a process. But other times we'll come in and there's like a melody or a line that I've written or Oscar's written, and it just kind of like snowballs into this thing. Sometimes it's an idea like straight from me all the way through as far as lyrics go. Sometimes it's like super a group effort. Other times it's, you know, it just depends on the song, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely ends up being all over the place.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to touch on. Hearing what he was saying is like, some of these songs also had a couple different versions. Like, there was another version of Bitter that ended up getting reworked. There was another completely different version of Smiling Out of Habit that got reworked, but then there's other
Still
instances.
salty.
Yeah, there's things that just click. Say the Sober clicked, Drag Me Out clicked. The last song, Before You Go, is that studio experience is still one of the coolest things I've ever seen come together. And so, it's all varying. I can't talk about our process and not shout out our producers, Nick Matskos and John Everhard. These songs would not be possible without them. So they're the team. They're awesome.
Hell yeah. Love that.
So what song off this EP took longest to write, and which one is each of your own personal favorite?
Longest to write was probably Smiling, just because it did have
Well, we did 2 versions of Bitter too, didn't we? One with,
Yeah, but I think there were more. There were 3 versions of Smiling, and so
yeah,
there were
we
the
back
2
and forth for a long
ideas.
time.
There were the 2 ideas, and the one that we ended up going with, I guess, would be the third. My personal favorite is Before You Go, 100%. Like I said, not only was that writing process really, really cool to watch unfold, but I also think we just nailed what we were going for with that song. And I'm really proud of it. I cannot wait for people to hear that song. So Before You Go,
I'm really excited.
Is that also your favorite, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I don't know. Smiling on the Habit for sure took the most amount of years off of my life, as far as that goes. But I guess it's different for me when it comes to listening and playing and talking about it for our songs. I guess because I love performing Bitter because of the live moments that it has, the interaction points that it has, and hearing. That's one of the cool moments in our set where everybody knows the song, so everybody's shouting at the top of their lungs, and so you get to feel that. As far as just listening, I don't know. I really feel like Before You Go for sure is such a well-rounded song. I can't wait for people to hear it. But also Say the Sober, I think. That song is just a little bit of a unique flavor. It's not right on the money with any genre that's kind of it's got a little bit of everything, but it's got that little bit of uniqueness, a little bit of a twist to it that really that I really enjoyed. And I thought it had some cool I liked the wordplay in that song. I liked the idea of the directness of it. So I enjoyed that.
Hell yeah. When we're talking about different versions of a song, is it just a lyric change here, a lyric change there, or are you guys stripping these songs back and reworking them?
If it generally it's the latter. So for what we're talking about with Smiling Out of Habit, that song had a whole different first verse and second verse that completely changed. That was a completely different vibe, just utterly different. Chorus was very similar. Bridge was the same, but the whole changing those 2 aspects are very important, and it obviously changed the vibe of the song. So I was really in love with our first version because it represented a lot of my pop influences, but it was a little bit too I don't know, little too on the light side, I think, for what we were trying to do at the time as a group. Mm-hmm. So we ended up giving it a little bit of Porter put down a cool verse on the second half, and then that's what you hear. So. Which
is funny that the intro is one of the things that got changed, because the new intro is my favorite part of that song. So it's so funny how if we maybe didn't think about rechanging certain aspects, we wouldn't have those parts. That is also kind of becoming a really cool live moment. So it's crazy how crucial those decisions become in the long run.
Absolutely. Yeah. You think you're working minor shit, and all of a sudden, and then you think about it, and you're like, oh fuck, that's a big pivotal moment of what we're doing right now.
Well, it's the little things that you don't expect that you throw into the song last minute or off the cuff that people end up attaching to, and the little vocal chops, or a weird little whittly fill that Grayson throws in. It's that stuff that people just weren't expecting. The little things. That's what people latch onto. Ultimately, we could sit there and mull over everything until it's until it all looks like garbage to our eyes. But ultimately, whoever beauty's in the eye of the beholder, or ear in this particular instance. But that kind of rambling.
Absolutely. Well, it's a podcast. Ramble as much as you want.
Exactly.
So for this question,
I found my people.
So for this question, I want you guys to pick your favorite lyric off the EP and tell us the meaning behind it.
Oh man.
Man, I've just finished reading all the lyrics too. Shit.
It's great.
No, it's not. Because I
Studied
have
up.
horrible retention. Let's see.
Oh my god, you guys caught me off guard
That's
so hard.
right. I was ready for. I even listened to a few podcasts, like deal for like so I didn't get like any left hooks, but wasn't ready for that one. All right, let's see.
This is an EP exclusive question, EP and single.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. We keep going back to Before You Go, but like there's some really cool imagery in those lyrics that and I'm not going to share them because it's not out yet, obviously, but I'm really excited people to hear that. Otherwise, I would say, interestingly enough, I'd probably go back to maybe Smiling Out of Habit has some really, really cool lyrics because it's very dichotomous as far as like the happy-go-lucky sound versus the very depressing lyrics, so I've always enjoyed that, but that bridge, that part where it's very vocoder heavy and such, I just really liked those, the stuff that I came up with for that. I don't know I just liked how it felt when it came out,
Hell yeah.
I also agree there's a lot of really cool writing in Before You Go, but if we're not sharing it, I'm not going to say anything. Something that always stuck out to me.
This will be out closer to the EP. Just throwing that out there if that changes anything.
Yeah, I mean, fuck it. There's a line in Before You Go in the bridge. The whole I got lost in the haze, waiting for something to change. I can't take much more. I'm fading. It's like such a like poetic line to me. Is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That whole song lyrically is sick. There's a line in Bitter that I actually thought of when it was a line I threw out when we were talking about titles, but the second verse, the whole will it be the fall that kills me or the sudden stop, was it ever enough, is like very deep and sad, and I'm a big sad boy and love the sad shit, so like I've always loved that line.
Yeah, that was a good one. Porter killed that verse.
Yeah, that
absolutely
verse
murdered it.
Oh yeah.
So would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this EP?
All over the place, just because of how long it took. Like when we first started doing this, it wasn't going to be an EP. That just kind of came about later as, we just kind of go into the studio and write bunches of songs here, write bunches of songs there. Everybody's doing the single game now, so we're trying to play along. And we came up with this idea to like really kind of put a bow, like I said earlier, on this kind of era of Archers and kind of wrap everything up. And we wanted to make sure we went all the way back and included Bitter, since that was kind of the song for us recently that really kind of kickstarted the momentum that we're seeing right now. So we just wanted to kind of bundle it up because we love having things for our fans. Essentially, that's really what it boils down to. Like if you come to our shows, and we want to be able to hand you a hard copy of some music if that's what you're into. We love having records, and like we had the ability to, and it all kind of like came together. And so it wasn't like we set out to write an EP. We set out to write bangers. Mm-hmm. That's what we tried to do. And hopefully people think we succeeded. I personally think we did. I love our music. I'm a big fan of Archers. I will say that.
That's good.
I mean, it sounds funny, but like I love our music. I think it's great. I'm not going to sit here and be like it's the best in the world, but hey, I like it. It makes me happy. I jam out to it when the time comes,
Mm-hmm.
So like, I don't know. I just enjoy what we do.
Damn right, as you should.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. It's like he was kind of saying, it's funny that Pulley, you're using the bow analogy, because I just did an interview the other day and I said the same thing. We had these songs and we needed a definitive end, and we had to put the bow on the end. And so it's cool. Mm-hmm. For something that was never planned to be an EP. I think it works perfectly as an EP.
Oh yeah, it all lined up.
Super cool accident, but I'm stoked on it.
Oh, same. I just can't wait to. And the imagery is great. Grayson knocked it out of the park with that artwork. And then, I really think these are we got some new shit in the pipeline that I'm really, really excited about. But like, this is such a perfect representation of who we are. And for the people that were there during this era, this is going to mean a lot to them. And that's what's also, I mean, like, you know, it's a business, we're running it as such, but that's what's important to us is like that we deliver, that we show up for the people who showed up for us. And we're going to keep doing that.
Hell yeah. Curious, like, at what point in the process did you guys decide that the singles you were writing were going to turn into an EP?
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, very recently as to right now. I mean, we did the Drag Me Out Before You Go session was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was in March of 2023. And we didn't really even start planning the EP until November, December last year. We got a new member of our team and started talking to him, and it's actually through a conversation with him that the title popped in Pulley's head. And once that started going and the gears started turning, and we realized that we really needed to start being more consistent on our releases, we're like, okay, well, we have these pipeline, put the ball on them. Let's have a definitive endpoint. And so we did. And I mean, it's funny. It comes out in May. We started working on the artwork in December of last year. We just finished all of the merch and pre-order items a week ago.
Yeah, right before it all went live.
Just the merch. I was going back and looking at the other day. The email thread that our graphic designer and I were using to get the merch finished. There were emails in there that were over 2 months old, and there were over 73 emails.
God damn.
Just on merch alone. So there's artwork on top of that. We ended up doing this vinyl release, which I'm incredibly excited and proud of. And so there's a lot that goes into it. And you know, not to like brag on us or anything, but we don't have any team that's doing this for us. We're not signed. We don't even have a manager. So this was literally all of us coming together, getting the shit done. And I'm so incredibly proud, and I'm so excited for it to finally just be in the world, so we can kind of roll on this new era of the band afterwards.
Damn right. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So how do you guys recommend your fans to listen to CP for the first time? Should you in the car with friends and dark with headphones on? Is it a workout EP, party EP? What do you guys personally recommend?
Everybody listens to music their own way for their own reasons, man.
Well, I just
whatever you vibe with.
I just want to say, too, because I also did my research and I watched a couple of your guys' episodes. I love that question. Because I think that the way you listen to music for the first time really impacts how it makes you feel. For that question is in the dark with headphones on. Yeah. You know, fully immerse yourself in whatever emotion is being portrayed. That's my answer. And that's a super cool question that a lot of people don't think about. So I had to tell you that. Yeah. I've been wanting to tell you that this entire time.
Thank you. We appreciate that. That I think that was inspired by what, Austin? Because it was
Austin Knight. Yeah.
He's
he always puts in like the back of his little booklets for like albums and shit. Like, listen to this album in the dark with fucking headphones.
That's so
on.
sick.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't say what the best way for someone else to listen to it would be. I barely know anything about myself in that regard. So, but like, I guess I would say, I don't know. I like solitude, and if I'm alone, I'm alone in my car right now. This is where I spend most of my free time or non-free time. So like, this is where I hang out. So it'd be alone in my car, jam it like 8 or 9 times, just really squeeze the dopamine out of it. You know what I mean? Every last drop.
Sure.
But that's just me.
Oh yeah. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your heads. I want you guys to describe this EP for new listeners in 3 words. 3 words each, 6 total, no more, no less.
Pretty fucking good.
Fuck yeah.
If I do
Damn right.
I say that in the most humble way. I'm not bragging, but I genuinely think these are the best songs that this band has done. And we've been talking about it a lot, especially the last one, Before You Go. Such an accomplishment to me. So yeah, I mean, shit rocks.
To play off of that, I'd probably say downright decent. Like, solid.
Very much
the 2 sides of the coin.
I guess it's good.
I guess it's fine. That's 4 words, but
that's great.
It's fine.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the EP?
Whatever you fit. Kind of playing off what Pulley said, like obviously there are songs that there were certain emotions that were had while writing them, but that's what's kind of cool when you listen to something is, while, you know, this song may make you feel one way, the intention may have been another, but that way is also just as valid because that's how you perceived it. It's all about perception, right? So like, yeah, however you see fit. If it makes you fucking really sad, get sad. I'm right there with you. If it makes you want to go lift heavy shit at the gym and put it back down and repeat, do that too.
I like it's interesting from my perspective with these songs. It's like it's not something that we've like put into any of the marketing or anything, but if you're going just based on lyrical content and like what the songs ultimately are about, like there's a real theme of exposing toxicity in one's own self that I feel like we really, I personally, that's where I'm at. That's where I've been for the last few years. It's trying like as a person, like diving deep into my own shit, figuring out what my problems are, my biases, and all that stuff. And like most of that is coming out through these songs, like talking about like the loneliness or the bad decisions and lack of self-discipline, or like thoughts of depression and suicide, things like that, and like all the different little toxic things about just being a human. I think that people don't know how to account for, or like maybe it's so normal that you hadn't even given it a second thought. So like I don't know, that's kind of where I approached it as far as like the emotion. I guess it's not really an emotion. It's more just like shining a light on the less great sides of you without glorifying it. That's the one thing I always wanted to make sure of, is that if we're going to be talking about the negative sides of things, we're not talking like, oh, look how great or look how sad you should be for this. Like, no, this is bad. Don't be me. Like, that's kind of the whole thing. So like, we all got to work through our own shit our own way. And that's what it is for me. That's just what music is all the time for me. Just my way to work through my shit.
Right.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
Love that answer. So, are you guys able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this EP, positive or negative?
Yeah, I got to hype up before you. Again, we've hinted at it. I might as well just talk about it. We went into that session, and I knew that creating kind of a more emotional song was something I wanted to do, whether it was big and anthemic and emotional that way, whether it was sad. We didn't have a specific emotion, but we wanted it to really strike a chord. So when it came time to work on that song, it was the four of us in a room with John, and we just started listening to music. We were referencing, old Paris. We were referencing Too Close to Touch. Rest in peace, Keaton. That is one of my favorite bands, lyricists of all time. They did the emotional stuff the right way, so we were listening to that. And it was, we weren't trying to make a carbon copy of anything either. So I think that when we were listening to bands in our own genre, nothing was really sticking. We started bringing up pop stuff like old Post Malone, Tate McRae. Again, nothing sticking. And then there was this Halsey song that she had called Ashley that I was like, I've always listened to this song and been like, this song would have been so badass if a band like Too Close to Touch covered it. So John put it on his computer. We started playing it. We started listening to it. And he was like, yeah, I'm like, I'm really kind of feeling this. And we ended up essentially starting that song as if we were writing a cover to it. And we wrote all the instrumentation in the chorus, pulled everything else out, and then wrote everything else around it. And it became his own thing. And it's like him thinking to do that would have been something I never would have thought of on my own. I'm not that smart. But seeing it all come together, and then the next day, Pulley comes in with the entire thing written, and to my knowledge, there weren't any edits that were made to that song vocally. Like what he had, to my knowledge, is what you hear, and it was just like that.
So.
Not only does that song kick ass, but like creating it, I'm like, holy shit, I cannot believe that I was a part of something like this, because it was such a cool experience from start to finish.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To speak to the negative side, just because I like balancing the coin. All of us are very opinionated. All of us want the best for this group. Not all of us have the same idea of how that's going to happen down the road, but like all of us are on the same boat, so we know that. But a lot of times you get into the studio and there is butting of heads. There absolutely will be, like, the creativities clash, egos clash. Grayson and I will be the first ones to tell you that we have had a couple of very petty matches over the years, like just trying to get this shit like sorted out. Like, and ultimately it boils down to the fact that we're all in this together, and we know that. So like, at the end of the day, I can be pissed and walk away, cool down, realize that everyone's just trying to do the best thing and move forward. And like, we're humans. We're the furthest thing from perfect humans that you can get, and we're pretty stupid generally. So like, you get us in a room together and dumb shit happens. So like, there is a negative side, of course there is, but that's just being in relationships, you know? That's just learning how to be a part of the group. That's learning how to work together. And like, there's no end to the learning process, you know? Yeah. You're always figuring out that new shit. And if you're not trying, then you become the stagnant thing that, you know, and that's not good. So, yeah. Like, absolutely. Positives, negatives, but it all ends up being this. It all funnels, it all fuels this, you know? Like,
absolutely. So for this question, I want you guys to picture you're on tour. You're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Yes.
So I'm a big on tour. I'm such a fucking candy person. So there's always some kind of candy. If I can find them, the Laffy Taffy Bites, rip.
Ooh.
And there's no sour shit on it. And so there's nothing that gets all over the van. So like, those are great. I drink pretty much anything. I'm not like a big soda guy, so it's like it's either an energy, like a zero sugar energy drink, or it's a vitamin water or some sort of water, kind of stay hydrated. But yeah, those are always my two things: some sort of candy and some kind of drink, whether it's to caffeinate me or hydrate me, one or the other.
Hell yeah!
When I'm home and not on tour, biggest sweet tooth you could ever. I got M&Ms and Monster with me right now, just waiting for this to be over.
Yeah, right.
But but when I'm on the road, my sweet tooth sometimes just goes away. I'll eat a candy bar here and there, but like my snack is a switch flips in me where I need the spiciest foods. Like I need the spiciest food. So like you don't get that a lot at gas stations generally. But having done this for a while, I have discovered that there's a few places you can go where you can get a fairly spicy wing. It's not going to be great, but you go to Pilot or Flying J in the hot case. It's not, you know, like you're not Guy Fieri is not coming to rate this place, but no. You know, you're gonna enjoy yourself. I promise. Like, and you just need a little bit of burn, you know. But like cayenne pepper, spicy food, that's all really good for like vocal repair and shit like that. So I'm constantly just eating the spiciest things I can find to like flush my sinuses and like loosen up my vocal cords and stuff and drinking tea. But like, I love spicy food, and when we go on tour, I'm always looking for spicy snacks. But like the wings from Flying J, honestly, they don't suck as much as you expect they would. I know she's having like a horror moment over here. Like
she's got so many questions.
Like, you're eating gas station chicken,
bro. I hear you, but hear me.
I don't know if I want to hear you. I don't. That's like I didn't even know that existed. Firstly, like I thought like gas stations.
Okay, so to be fair though, like, in his defense, what part of the country are you guys from?
East Coast.
Virginia, East Coast.
So you guys have Sheetz or Wawa? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay, so like that's gas station food, but it also slaps.
But that's like they have like kitchens, you know. They aren't like hot bars.
It came from a kitchen before it was put into a bag to go to Flying J, right?
Yeah. It's the same type of wings you'd buy at like a dumb baseball game or something. Like stuff that comes in like the frozen bags, you know. I'm not saying that they're gonna, like I said, these aren't Michelin star anything. These are Flying J.
Flying J chicken wings.
Okay.
That's part he's
like,
also.
I also can eat anything. Like I don't because I'm not Grayson and I enjoy my life. But like I can eat anything. Yeah.
You know
he's
what?
also going into these gas stations and he's getting the wings, and then he's also just getting a cup of hot water for his tea. So people probably think he's a psycho.
No, that's fair. That's a fair assumption, I think. Yeah.
Well, also, like, I look like a crazy person outside of shows sometimes because I'll do cayenne pepper gargles, whereas, like, you, like, heat up some water to a lukewarm temperature, you put, like, a couple tablespoons of cayenne pepper, and you gargle it, and it is not pretty, dude. Shit comes out of you. Like, it's just everything. And it's like, I feel so bad because I try to hide, find like an area behind a dumpster, but there's always that one fan, that poor dude out for a smoke, just like, are you good? And you're like, actually, I'm great. This is one of my favorite parts of the day. Like, you know.
Holy shit. Okay.
And I think much to make him happy. So like, I'm sure he genuinely does enjoy that.
Well, actually, the weirdest thing about it, so like, when I first started doing the cayenne pepper thing, it was really abrasive. It was difficult, but I started to really crave it. It was the strangest thing. Like I started to like I loved the sensation that it would because it wasn't like it was water, so I wasn't like dying, but it was like the spicy sensation, and it was like I'd be like 15 minutes before a show, like I'm about to have a cigarette, like oh my god, I'm gonna have my dog, it's weird, I don't get it, but like it works, it helps.
How long do you gargle the hot water cayenne?
Oh, I about 8 ounces, and I don't last. It doesn't last long. It's just like in a little cup, and I'll just get rid of the cup, and then whenever it's done, I just call it. I don't time it or anything. I just kind of go.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just curious because now I kind of want to try it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's super helpful. Like it's weird in the beginning. Like you have to like it takes a minute to get used to it because like at first you're just gargling water, and then it starts to get spicy, and that's a strange thing to not be used to.
Yeah.
But it definitely, if that's something that could help your sinuses, or like you have like sore throat or something like that, give it a shot. Really, really, really helps.
I'm definitely going to try that because I'm suffering from allergies right now. So.
Oh, that's rough, man. Yeah, that could help.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh, you ever heard of cabinet casserole?
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say we all.
I don't think I need to really explain it.
None of us like the same thing, so it would just be. It would be a plate full of different things because none of us can ever agree on the same thing. So you would just have all 4 different things.
Okay.
Right.
I would be something from Taco Bell because Taco Bell's good, but I don't know. They would be.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. You're talking dishes. That's also don't say dish around Grayson. He has a whole problem with it. We discovered last year.
I don't have a problem with
it. Why do you say the word dish? Nobody says dish.
I don't have a problem with it. He's just the first person that actually uses the term dish when talking about food in context that I've ever met in my life.
What?
Yeah, dude, sheltered. Clearly, I mean, it's okay.
Oh, it's all coming out now. I feel like I gargled
cayenne
water.
This is tame. So, like, it really has to get, like, for us to really be angry with each other, it's actually a lot quieter. But, like, it gets, like, we go, like, there's not really a lot of no boundaries in this group. There's a couple that we don't cross. But, like, generally, anything's fair game, and you're going to get chewed out.
What they mean by no boundaries, it's like, there's clearly boundaries of things we don't talk to. We mean there's no boundaries as far as you as a person. I will find your deepest insecurity and absolutely go after it and then say sorry 5 minutes later, but at least I said it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's like the thing is though, like insults are such a passion for us that like when a good one hits, you're not even mad. You're just like, oh, I felt that in my soul. Like
There's definitely been times I've been insulted where I've just been like, "Good game." That was solid.
Can't be mad at that.
All right,
but you have to try to balance it out because like you definitely don't want to hurt feelings. Because hurting feelings on the road sucks. It's the worst, man. Like if you have to live with that person for the next 5 days and you fucked up, you're like, dang it! How do I backpedal on this one?
I'm sleeping in the van tonight.
I'm already in there.
For the last couple questions, I'm going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Everything from Taco Bell with no tomatoes and a fat ass Baja Blast.
Fuck yeah.
Right. I've put thought into this, but it's hard because I love food, man. Probably like there's a Japanese chicken katsu, like curry, with some sticky rice.
Damn right.
And like a Korean barbecue steam bun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gimme.
Amen.
That'd be my thing.
Yeah.
Don't even care what I drink with it. I don't fuck with it. That's good enough for me. Give me water.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, give me whatever will screw up their machine that's gonna kill me. Like just so I have one last fuck you, and to like, as I go out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
The MCU.
Are you really? That'd be so dangerous. You fight so fast, Grayson. Have you met yourself? You can't fight.
I would want to be a superhero because I'm kind of a child, but like I want to be.
Everyone who's not a superhero dies, Grayson.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I want to be a superhero. Like I want to be Spider-Man. So I want to be Spider-Man in the MCU.
You would suck so hard as Spider-Man.
Or I would want to be
the worst Spider-Man
in Avatar.
That's fair. That's facts.
Okay.
Earthbending
Okay.
Nation all the way through.
Yep.
What was the question again? Oh, we got sidetracked with annoying
If you
Grayson.
could live in one fictional world for a week,
Oh,
where would you live?
Middle Earth, hands down. Middle Earth,
Middle
all
Earth.
day, every day. Middle Earth.
Yeah.
All right.
Or maybe Arrakis, but that kind of sucks. I just like the story. But like Middle Earth for sure.
Yeah, I want to be on Arrakis when they're like under the sand and like just come out of the sand to kick ass. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, for
Damn
sure.
right.
Fucking Shai Hulud, this bitch motherfucker, like
Anal
get
Gaib.
his ass. It is the legend.
You're talking to the two biggest nerds, so we've absolutely him and I have had this conversation just ourselves.
Hey,
Okay.
bro, you guys were
Yep.
prepped. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And I've done investing. Last question. Every single person we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Purple.
Green.
Nice.
That is
Great
purple.
mix.
Could have gathered
Barney.
from your background, Grayson,
Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
Gmail profile picture.
Yep. I love purple.
Is it just the color? Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. So as I said, that's all the questions. Is there anything that you guys would like to plug?
Yeah. We got this awesome pre-order out right now. For all that I have left merch. We got vinyl, 2-sided vinyl with both the record and New Normal on both sides, or one side, the other side. It's so cool. And we've got a couple variants for that, so you can have a couple of ones to choose from. Obviously, regular CD. Then we got a T-shirt, a hoodie, a windbreaker, a flag. Am I missing anything, Grayson?
No. You got
No,
everything.
I mean,
So
that's all coming out on. Well, you can pre-order that stuff now, but it ships and it all becomes available on May 10th. And we're just so ready, not to end the chapter to like get rid of it, but we're just so ready to be ready to move on and to like give everything to everyone, show them what we've been doing, and then move on and show them the next thing that we're working on for everybody. So check us out, listen to us wherever you listen to us. I don't know how that works anymore. Everyone's got their own thing in their subscription, but wherever you jam music, we might be on there. Go listen.
yeah, I'm the same way. EP, all that I have left out May 10th. All the pre-order stuff is super sick. You can follow us on Instagram at ArchersUS. We're on Spotify. We're on everything. This is also coming out in May, so we have some hodgepodge of shows in May with Magnolia Park, Crown the Empire, Eminence. We have a lot more stuff being planned that I cannot tease, or I'd get a big old spanking. But we will be on the road the rest of the year, so make sure you come see us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for silence, guys. It's been Grayson and Nathaniel
Absolutely.
from Archers, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.